Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Oh man, I wish you could have seen me yesterday. My eyes were fabulous, but we had the house cleaned externally. My cleaners that clean internally don't use chemical products, but the external ones did, because we have a VIP open day this afternoon. And if you could see off camera, there is stuff everywhere. So let's get these readings out of the way. And I suspect whatever chemicals were used on the external of the house are what set my eyes off again, because they looked fabulous yesterday. Anyhow, entertainment only. And yeah, that was a once off. So let's wait till tomorrow and see how amazing I look again. First of all, Battle River Crowfoot. Polivair won, apparently got about 80% of the votes. I keep hearing Bonnie Critchley or Critchley, Bonnie Critchley. And the cards said Bonnie Critchley. However, Polivair, his support was down on what Damien's was, and Damien was the one that stepped aside. So I think there's more to play out there. Got that one wrong. However, I mean, the cards were saying Bonnie. I gather there were 214 candidates on the paper, so I suspect that probably, I mean, it wouldn't have made a 30% difference, but suspect that was a bit of the undermining for Bonnie. But she did make inroads, and I don't think she's done by a long shot. I am just actually very quickly. Battle River Crowfoot. Are they going to regret putting Polyev PP in? Are they going to regret electing him? No and no. I don't think they are. It's one of the strongest conservative seats. It's just. Anyhow, sometimes we get it wrong. Okay, entertainment only, but what on earth am I going to have a look at first up? Because by crikey, there is so much happening. Okay, I'm going to actually have a look at the Democrats in Texas. So what's happened is that after the Democrats left Texas, which meant the gerrymandering, let's call it what it is. It's not redistrict. Well, it is redistricting, but the gerrymandering bill that was presented to the state government couldn't be passed because the Democrats all left town, so there wasn't enough people in the parliament to actually vote on it. Couldn't create a quorum. So what happened? Oh, yesterday, did anyone out feel it? Sorry, a bit of a quokka moment yesterday. The irritable energy was just off the charts. I don't know whether it was just me or whether you felt it yourself, but irritable and irritating. And everybody we were coming across at the supermarket and down the post office and all the rest of it were exhibiting the same. So, you know, if you were feeling it yesterday, which was the day of the Zelensky at the White House talks. So there was a real undercurrent of irritation there. Not from Zelensky, I think that was from the Orange Twerp. And speaking of which, he's now ordered Vance to coordinate the peace deal. Well, talk about nominate your fall guy, because it ain't going to happen. Anyhow, Democrats in Texas. So apparently, so they left the state. They've now returned to the state in an attempt to force them to be present in the chambers to vote on the gerrymandering bill. The Texas state governor and Patrick and whoever else it was has basically threatened them with facing civil arrest if they didn't sign a written order that they would have a 24/7 police escort to ensure that they returned to the chamber. If they wanted to leave the state chamber, they had to sign this police escort order. So what happened is that Nicole Collier, and I do apologise if I've pronounced that wrong, refused to sign it. Other Dems signed it and left the chamber and got their police escort. Otherwise, they would be facing civil arrest, which there's no basis for civil arrest. Oh, anyhow, legality is not a big point with the Republicans. So Nicole Collier refused to sign it and she remained in the chamber. What's happened is now Michaela Plazer, Penny Moraes-Shaw, Jean Wu, Riella Bowes, Cassandra Hernandez, and Stefania Thompson have all now torn up the order that they signed, and they've returned to the chamber and basically being held hostage, kidnapped, hostage, whatever you like to call it, to make a point. So, and take note, all women except for Jean Wu, and he is a man of Asian, obviously from his surname, from Asian descent. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So I am just wondering what the hell cards am I going to use for this? I'm going to use the mystical manga cards. So how's this going to go for the Texas Dems? They're really taking a stance on this. Combined, really taking a stance as I split the deck with the Ace of Wands, a fiery stance that's going to potentially force a back down. So we've got the Four of Swords. Is this them being confined to the chamber, or is this a back down by the GOP? Because I'm pretty sure the citizens of Texas do not like their representatives being locked in the governmental chambers and basically being kept hostage. It's very clearly what is happening in the US, and it's being exposed for everybody to see as this GOP governance everywhere is not about representation. And as I split the deck, I've got the Queen of Swords, so this is potential legal action coming forward. And we've got the Six of Pentacles. Is it the Six? No, it's the Eight of Pentacles. Work happening behind the scenes in regards to the legality of this all. So I don't think we've seen the end of it. Now, I don't know when the vote is actually for. Let me just check. Okay, I believe they're supposed to vote on it tomorrow, your time, today my time. So literally tomorrow. So, oh goodness me, get those legal eagles onto it. And basically what it is to redistrict, to create 5 new Republican districts. Now, if you have a look, I did a post about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, can't remember, a link to the Texas district maps, and literally it was like a finger that wound around like that and had a little pokey off bit there, and it had nothing to do with the actual populace of Texas. In Australia, you'll notice, because we have an independent electoral commission, the maps are pretty much same shape all over the place. They might run down on one side of the street, you're in one district, and on the other side of the street, they're in the other. Very strict guidelines about how these maps are to be drawn up. And we've got here the female reps bringing in really fiery messaging in regards to this. Now, that's not to take anything away from Jean Wu. I gather he's the leader of the Democrats in Texas in the House. But what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women taking this stance. So how's this going to play out? How is this going to play out? How is this going to play out for the Democrat reps? Locked in the chamber, threatened with a civil arrest if they don't have a 24/7 armed guard on them. This is This is the fully exposing the US that we're looking down the barrel of if the people don't wake up. Okay, let's have a look. How is this going to go? How is it going to go for the Democrats? Okay, Tower moment. Okay, everything is going to be blown up, torn down, implosion, so that it can be rebuilt. How's it going to go for the Democrats? Well, I'm getting a tower moment, forcing a tower moment. Okay, this is really interesting. I'm going to have a look at the Republicans in a minute because I'm going to use different cards for the Republicans because I am wondering whether they might get some Republicans cross the floor with this tower moment. I think what this is they are exposing to the voters absolutely what this Texas government is about. Now Beto's come out again. Oh my God, have you seen that? Beto is becoming public again. I would put money on Beto having won the seats that he ran for, but the gerrymandering and the tossing out of ballots, etc., cost him those seats. I would put money on Beto having won against Cruz and Allred. I would put Allred as well. And did Beto run for governor as well? Because I get that he won that one as well when you're talking about actual numbers. So Beto's out again. Interesting. Coming out again with Obama. Obama's becoming very vocal. Harris is on her book tour. Okay, let's see where this goes. So we've got a tower moment occurring, an implosion where everything is torn down, challenged by moderation. These jugs of moderation are all tied up in these silk hangings here. So challenged by moderation being tied up. The voice of moderation being tied up. Yep, okay. Foundation is the male legislator energy. I'm going to call this the Abbott Republican legislator energy taking action. Kings are about external action, external plans being brought forward, external messaging, fiery messaging. That's what they're dealing with at the moment, the energy that they're stewing in. In the past, we have the independent women standing up and being counted. Jean Wu, you can be an honorary woman for this. Yeah, very much about women standing up. Independent women standing up who are there for the voters, not there for themselves. They are there for the voters. What you find about these people that are pushing back is that, and I'm talking about Mandami, I'm talking about AOC, I'm talking about Crockett, I'm talking about these women, I'm talking about just all these people that are standing up and pushing back. Bernie Sanders, I'll throw him in there, White House. Who's the Republican that's come out as well? They're all there for the people, not for the money. Okay, so let's see where this goes. Page of Cups, something unexpected happening. Page of Cups, an unexpected emotional messaging that comes forward. A Texan's going to storm the House. I'd love to see that. Okay, but let's see where it goes. Something unexpected. In the immediate future, we've got this work happening behind the scenes. It can also be money trails. We do know that the Texas Republicans are doing this under the order of the White House. So much for, states' rights and all the rest of it. But some really serious... okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, the immediate future. It's about vote manipulation is what I'm getting. If you look at this figure here, he's got the pentacle on the cushion at the front. He's poised to sign something into legislation. It's all to do with votes. very possibly getting paid to do this as well. But yeah, I'm getting it because when I'm talking about voting, Pentacles for me are the votes. So the immediate future, this figure doesn't look particularly friendly, signing into legislation. So I think the gerrymandering is just redistricting is going to get passed, but let's see where it goes. Plan coming to fruition, looking at the bigger picture. Okay, so the Democrats in the Texas House are looking at the bigger picture in regards to this, in regards to the bigger horizons. Okay, we've got the internally for them, the Queen of Coins, again, this feminine energy, protecting the rights of voting. Again, Pentacles about voting. Yeah, it's just a nightmare situation. They do not have the numbers due to gerrymandering, due to redistricting. They don't have the numbers in the Texas House to block this. It is absolutely, it's a legal nightmare situation. It's a intellectual nightmare situation. It's just ghastly, ghastly, ghastly. But what's going to be the outcome? We've got the Ace of Cups, an emotional overwhelming, new partnerships that have formed, a cleansing. So we've got this Page of Cups, something unexpected, and then the Ace of Cups, new beginnings, new partnerships, just a cleansing of the system. Okay, let's see where it goes. We've got the King of Coins, and we've got the Strength card. So I do feel that this is going to get through. However, we've got then some decisions that need to be made in regards to what path forward they take. You've then got the King of Cups, which is the negotiator, diplomat. You've got the Six of Coins, the giving and receiving of help, but this is also my gerrymandering card, and loss and disappointment. So I'm sorry, Texas. We then have legal action being taken that may force things into a retreat, but I don't know that they're going to be successful. They have exposed a harsh truth with the Knight of Swords. The current Texas government is thigh deep in the swamp, legally blocking any challenges to this. And the Democrats are just going to be, the Democratic reps are going to be legally restricted. So I do see, sadly, the Republicans succeeding in this ploy, which makes me really, really cross. But it does expose to the voters. I mean, basically, they're looking at gerrymandering and throwing, 2 million Democratic voters into one district and, 3 Republican voters in another, so that they can, to restrict the Democrats. So I do see it getting through, but how is this going to play out long term? Yeah, it's all about manipulation with the magician there. How's it going to play out? How are the voters of Texas going to view this? How are the voters of Texas going to view this? How are the Republican voters, past Republican voters, because boy, oh boy, a lot of them are having their eyes opened. How are past Republican voters in Texas going to view this action? How are past Republican voters in Texas going to view this action? How are past Republican voters in Texas going to view this action? Judgment. Wake up. Call to arms. Collective awakening. Absolutely. It's a big wake-up call for them. They're not quite sure what to do with it. I'm going to say they're not quite sure what to do with it. You have to remember that me and thee and all of us like us have been aware of this for years, not just months, but years. We've had years to come to terms with what these Republican politicians are up to, these corrupt politicians are up to. Those that have voted Republican, even in the last election, they're only just realising. So they're not quite sure what to do with it. They're like, what? But they're not, and it's not all. I mean, I always get about 17% of total voters, not just Republicans. So nearly 1 in 5 will go to the grave kissing the golden sneaker. But just be aware that they are a minority, and they are often old and white. So they won't be around for much longer. But yeah, they've had this wake up and they're not quite sure what to do with it. Their challenge is the page of coins, the information being brought forward about their vote. So it's very much, even me and thee have been aware of this for years. We can't say, well, we told you so. What the F were you thinking? Blah, 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 blah. We have to acknowledge that they are like stunned mullets, that they've gone, what? And we have to go, well, yeah. And then let them have the off ramp to come to the position. We've got this Knight of Swords at the bottom there. They've got this harsh truth that's come forward for them, this realization. Now, Susan Lynn has said often that when they have this wake up, because they are going to feel duped and betrayed and feel foolish because of being played so blatantly, that they are going to be even more aggressive in pushing back than what we are. Get out of their way, basically, is what she says. Let them at it, get out of their way, because they are having this huge epiphany moment. I'm not saying all of them, but enough of them are having this huge epiphany moment, this harsh truth, this harsh reality confronting them, this wake-up call. They're going to be even more emotionally wrought up, is as in WROGHT. That's an interesting word for my guides to bring forward about what is happening. They're going to be even more wild about it. Get out of their way. Let them have it. Let them at it. In the past, we've got the nine of wands here. The what they thought was safeguards. There's fiery information coming out about what they thought was safeguards, decent, how do I put this? Decent boundaries, guardrails. But they're being presented with this new image of it, and it is fiery, crowning this reading. So how do they feel? Again, fiery new information coming forward, fiery, explosive, um, I'm just going to say attitudes. Now, not all Republicans, but there's going to be enough. Okay, the immediate future for them is, what the hell do I do with this now? Ten of Wands. They are at the end of a cycle and they're ready to start. This is about a new cycle. This is the here and now, the immediate future. Right, they've got their Ace of Wands. Now what do we do with it? Now, it's not about confronting them. It's about giving them permission to put these other 9 wands down. 9 of Wands, 9 wands, 1 wand, 1 wand. This is in the past. And then they don't know what to do with it. Give them permission to put them down and take up the fiery new beginning. Absolutely. Externally for them, what the F just happened? An intellectual nightmare. Now, I'm not saying many of them are particularly intellectual, but again, this Nine of Swords, this anguish about, oh my God, we've been played, we've been lied to. What do we do with it? What do we, this anguish, they just don't know where to go next. We need to give them somewhere to go. Otherwise, you run the risk of them falling back into the familiar. Okay, walking away internally, emotionally walking away from the Republican Party. They're on this new journey. They have to take these steps up. If you have a look, there's steps. Steps mean action that needs to be taken, and actual steps that need to be taken, which means that they have to do. They can't just be any longer. They actually have to do on this new path. So again, give them the path to go forward. Walking away, emotionally disappointed. Again, another moving on, leaving. I'm asking about the Republicans here. You've got that King of Coins energy again. So the outcome here, I'm going to call this my Abbott card or my Patrick card, or what's the other one? You got Abbott, Patrick, and can't remember his name. The three corrupt leaders there. Yeah, this is them front and center. Present, stealing the vote, presenting the But the wheel is turning on them. The wheel of fortune, the wheel is turning, and then we switch to the Queen of Coins, the benevolent female energy. This is their vote. This is their vote. The king, they've had their vote aggressively taken from them. This is the Queen of Coins, the benevolent protection of the vote, and the Sun card, it being exposed to them. They cannot deny any longer the Sun, the Hierophant, at what this state government is doing. And then we've got this loss and disappointment, betrayal and heartbreak again. Do not underestimate the Republican voters here. You've got here my gerrymandering card. It's also my vote flipping card, the Six of Pentacles, and then you've got the Tower moment as this Seven of Swords with these all-seeing eyes, at them seeing the truth of their votes literally basically being stolen. I mean, they've had their eyes shut in regards to this. But then we've got the Knight of Wands. Inflammatory information coming forward that is forcing them as the Hanged Man to look at this differently. They don't like what they are seeing with that Four of Cups, and then you've got the Page of Swords coming forward in regards to the Emperor and something in the past, and then you've got the infighting and then the reaching across the aisle coming together. If you think the Democrats are going to be the Dem voters, I know some of you hate the word Democrats, and I do apologise. The Dem voters are horrified by this. I think the Republican voters are going to be even worse. Now, they were the mystical manga cards, MANGA. I have no idea where the box has gone. But yeah, I'm going to leave that there. If you think the Democratic voters are going to be upset about this gerrymandering, this blatant non-representation, I think you might find that a swathe of the Republican voters are even more angry um, uh, kicked out of their complacency, etc. So again, it's very much about not so much saying, "Oh, told you so. Why didn't you? Blah 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 blah." No, say, "I understand how you feel. Talk to me about it." You've got to give them an off ramp, and you've got to give them a place to go. Okay, love to you all. Catch you shortly. Bye bye.